Hi everyone, my name is Ivy
And I'm Ying.
and welcome back to the Financial Fitness channel.
Many industries have their own rule of thumb to success. And in financial planning, one of the rule of thumb would be the 50-30-20 rule. This 50-30-20 rule is simple to create and not difficult to follow. Many people have succeeded in achieving their financial goals by following this rule of thumb.
So what exactly is this 50-30-20 rule? Elizabeth Warren, the US Senator of Harvard University, bankruptcy expert, presented the idea of this budgeting plan in her 2005 book named All Your Worth. She suggested that if you want to be a better money manager for your own finances, it is good to have a system that helps you know how to organize your cash flow. The 50, 30, and 20 rule is basically to help you categorize your spendings into three main areas. The breakdown of the spendings are on 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and allocating 20% on savings.
So let's get started. Step 1 would be calculating your after-tax income. So how do you determine your after-tax income? If you are an employee, the easiest way would be to look at the income that you received. This would usually be the after-tax deduction income. So if let's say you are self-employed, it may be difficult for you to determine your after-tax income as your monthly income fluctuates every month. So it is best to review it quarterly to determine what's the final after-tax income. So after you've determined what's your after-tax income, to start off, gather all your receipts, your salary checks, open up your accounts and open up your budgeting apps. Some may prefer to write it down, but that's definitely up to you. So after you've already gathered all this, you will need to refer back your receipts, your statements, and all these documents that you've gathered to determine what is your budget. Don't just guess, please do refer, because sometimes you may spend more or less than you think.
Step 2. Decide what are your needs. You need to decide what your needs are. This might be hard for some of us because sometimes I do understand you will feel that it is a need to go out drinking with your friends. But generally, needs are essentials like food and water, and I meant not like eating steak or sushi every day, just the basic food. Housing costs, electrical bills, tax, medical insurance, health costs, and also of course your debt repayments like housing loan, car loan, and etc. So needs are basically anything that would dramatically affect your life if you don't have it. So if you're still feeling a bit confused on whether or not that thing is a need, ask yourself what your life would be like without it.
Yes, so for example, what would be like if let's say I don't have a healthcare insurance? So if let's say I'm critically ill, I will have to fork out a huge amount of money to pay for my hospital bills. So this would dramatically affect my savings account and also my lifestyle. So that is definitely a need. Or what happens if I don't pay my rent? So I'll most probably get kicked out of my house and end up sleeping on the streets. So this is definitely a need as well. So what's not a need then? So for example, what will happen if let's say I don't have a television? Yes, my entertainment will be slightly boring at home, but you can always seek for other entertainment like sports, maybe hang out with your friends, scroll on social media. So that's not really a need as it doesn't really affect your current lifestyle.
So once you have identified your needs, write them down, list it down in your budgeting apps or your books. Add them all together and calculate what's the total expenses on your need. Does it actually exceed 50% of your income? Now if it does, that means you may have to do some adjustments on your commitment because you may be putting too much commitment on yourself. So some of the adjustments could be like maybe change to a more affordable car or maybe even downsizing your house.
Step 2 would be minimizing your wants to 30%. Depending on your current lifestyle, you need to control the frequency of your wants. I totally understand things are so easily accessible right now and you may not be able to control your urge to spend. But you have to still control within your budget. So what are wants? Wants are basically things that are not your needs. So for example, the unlimited data plan on your phone, or clothes that just go beyond basic, or even like a luxury vacation or a dinner night out.
Some of the luxurious spendings could even be little things like turning on the aircon the whole day long when actually just a fan is just enough. But we live in a hot country. We sometimes really do need that aircon. We understand how you feel. So once you have identified your wants, list it down and then calculate and see whether if it exceeds 30% of your income. If it does, try to reduce it.
Step 3 would be putting 20% of your income towards debts and savings. So what are the funds that you can allocate under debts and savings? It could be the emergency fund or the extra payments that you allocate for debts so you can settle your debts as early as possible, and your retirement fund or your EPF contribution. So there is no emphasis on the ratio of savings and debts in the 20%. But if you're the type who would like to settle your debt as early as possible, you may want to allocate more towards that. But it is still important for you to set aside of your income for emergency, because you will never know, there may be a hole in your roof that you need money to fix it.
Now, keeping in mind that our spendings are generally fall into these 3 categories, and the goal of the 50-30 plan, 50-30-20 plan is to create a financial balance. So if your ratio turns out to be imbalanced, then you probably want to make some sacrifices and reorder your priorities. So all in all, the basic rule is just a guideline. The ratio may be adjusted depending on some of your commitment size and also your income size. If you have a huge debt and you want to, get rid of it immediately, you may want to allocate more of that commitment and your spendings towards that goal instead.
As we understand that sometimes our income is at a minimum and the needs itself takes up more than 50% of our income. So in cases like this, you may have to reduce your wants and savings to accommodate. But here's the thing, it is to reduce, not to eliminate. Because sometimes we still want to live a little and indulge on our wants, and yet we still need to save a little in case of emergency. This 50-30-20 rule is a good rule of thumb. But as we mentioned in this video, not all thumbs is of the same size at every stages of our life.
Thank you for watching. If you do like us, do follow us at our page or subscribe at my YouTube channel, Ivy's Notebook. See you next time. Bye!